Alright, welcome back to Dinopedia, entry number 47, the Triceratops. Remember to like if you like, and subscribe down below for more videos. Alright, so the schedule as always, let's look at the Ark Survival Trike, tips and tricks for the Trike, potential add-ons for the Trike in Ark Survival Ascended and Ark Survival 2, and reworking from a new game, Dino World. Let's get into it. Alright, so the Trike in Ark Survival Ascended is an animal, so Kingdom Animalia, group reptilian because dinosaurs are lizards, which are reptiles, and description is Ceratops because it's a member of the Ceratops family, or the animals with bony crests and horns on their head. So its traits in game, it's passive to most creatures. It will attack carnivores if they're attacking other nearby herbivores, and will spawn in singles, pairs, or groups of 3 to 4. So watch out if you do get a group spawn, because you may be in trouble if you try to tame one. So of course the stats of a Trike, it's somewhat tanky, but not that much. Health 375, Stamina 150, Oxygen 150, Food and Water 3000 each. Weight 365, melee 32. Speed is 1.5 meters per second with a swimming speed of 3.5 meters per second and a torpor of 250. So pretty sizable, but just, kind of a tank, but not really. It's a tankier herbivore for sure once it gets into the high levels, but low levels, kind of an easy tame, kind of an easy trap. So of course, tips, it has a rivalry buff, a special additional attack bonus given to it when Trikes are fighting against Allos, Basilisks, Giga, Carcanos, Reapers, Rexes, Elementals, Spinos, Wyverns, and Tyrannosus. So if they're fighting any of those creatures, it does have a special attack buff, so that is good to know. Also charge transport when it's using its charge attack. It can travel large distances by charging while carrying large pools of resources, so just beware about that. So it basically can act as it's similar to the Carposuchus. You can use its charge attack, or in the Carpo's case, its lunge attack, to travel very large distances very quickly. Tricks, it's a turret soaker. Its bony crest on its head reduces incoming damage by a ton by turrets, which focus headshots by a significant amount, allowing it to tank an entire turret line. So auto turrets, minigun turrets, catapult turrets, ballista turrets, every turret that targets its head, which means those are the ones that don't really need any people to guide them. So specifically the auto and minigun turrets, the ones that only target the head, those turrets will be at a significant disadvantage because its bony crest reduces by almost like 75% incoming damage to the head. So these it can tank an entire line of Trikes, can tank a turret line pretty effectively. It's also a cheap defense, easy to tame in the early game. It's an easy-to-tame protector for resource mining and farming bases. Just place a few of them outside each base, and they'll be able to take on pretty much anything, because there's not really a lot of people that just attack with a freaking Giga to a farming base. They usually attack with a couple Rexes and Allos, and since they have a rivalry buff, it's good to have them as base protection against those attacking creatures. So some potential add-ons I'd like to see added to the game. Obviously, they've already added this in Ark Survival Ascended, but they've added a family spawn, which is a male, female, and baby spawn. I hope they add it to Ark Survival 2 as well, but basically it's just a male, female, and baby Trike that spawn at the same time. I also think piercing should be useful. Their horns should pierce through armor when they use their charge attack, as well as through metal and less structures. So metal, thatch, wood, and stone structures. So yeah, metal and below. So metal and any structure that is less than metal, it'll pierce through. I think that should be a thing that they should use, especially because, those horns are very long, so they should be able to pierce through something. So of course the Ark Survival Trike versus the Jurassic World Trike. I think the Jurassic World one looks a little bit better, but that's only because I do think that the horns being curved instead of just straight, like the Ark model, is a little bit more, more unique. So even though the Ark Trike does look good, I will say that the Jurassic World one looks better, but that's only because of the curved horns and the bigger mouth and head shape. Now of course the Dino World one does not look anywhere near as good as the Jurassic World one and the Ark one, so of course the Ark one takes second place here and definitely beats out the Dino World one, because even though we have the curved horns of the Jurassic World one, it's not anywhere close to looking as good as either of them. So of course the Tricera in Dino World has its name shortened from Triceratops and does not use Trike, because that's an Ark terminology. We want to use our own terminology, so we do Tricera, which is just Tricera except tops has been taken off. There's two types. There's a normal Tricera, which is just the wild and tame dino variant, and the mutated Tricera, which is a product of two tamed Tricera, mating, breeding, and egg laying, plus a gene computer to generate mutations. It's an animal as always, so Kingdom Animalia and Group Reptilian because it's a lizard. And of course, it has a duck bill. It has the duck bill that most dinosaur herbivores do. And in the family of Ceratops, it includes the Protoceratops, Styracosaurus, and the Pachyrhinosaurus. So of course, the Tricera in Dino World has a few stats that are bigger than the Arc one. It has a health of 500 instead of 375, stamina 250 instead of 150, oxygen 200 instead of 150, weight 500 instead of 365, melee is increased to 40 instead of 32, walking speed is 3 meters per second instead of 1.5 meters per second, and swimming speed is down 2 meters per second instead of 3 meters per second, with a torpor that's doubled to 500 and a fortitude of 3. So basically, it's a lot more tankier in Dino World. We just made it that way because most of the other Ceratops family are smaller than the Ceratops, so they do need some wiggle room to still be tanky, but not too tanky. So we put the Triceratops as a more of a tank dinosaur than the other Ceratopses, just because it's the biggest one in its family. Alright, so the Tricera in Dino World has some additional traits. Obviously, it has multi-spawn. It has a single spawn where one spawns pairs, which is a male and female, and then a family, which is a male, female, and a baby, and then a group, which is 3 to 4 Triceratopses. And then, of course, it has a piercing effect with its horns, armor piercing, and structure piercing charge attack, which is a secondary attack to its normal headbutt attack. And then impaled, its headbutt attack, its normal primary attack, impales small creatures and players on its 2 large horns, which does create not only a survivor animation, but also an in-game animation in general. Plus, makes it a little bit more scary to come up and deal with face forward. It's making it a little bit more difficult to tame these, as would other Triceratops species. And then its combat ability is called Battering Ram. Supercharged ramming a charge attack with infinite charge until you hit something, similar to the Pachycephalosaurus and Stylomech. It has a knockback and bleeding effect, so twin negative effect of knocking them back, also bleeding effect. Remember, its fortitude is 3, so it does equal a Rex, so do be careful about that. But it also has a cooldown of 30 seconds, so use it wisely. And finally, we have Dino World spawns for the main map of Europa. Obviously, spawn rates are color-coded, with blue for being guaranteed to spawn, green very likely to spawn, yellow feudal likely to spawn, orange rare to spawn, red very rare to spawn, and purple for dead carcasses spawn. Obviously, it has some various biomes here. Obviously, it's very likely to spawn on most beaches, including the herbivore island beaches. Feudal likely to spawn in the north and eastern jungles, as well as herbivore islands jungle. And of course, the central plains, it's still feudal likely to spawn, with it very rarely spawning in the Highlands area, and rarely spawning on the Highlands beach area. So, just beware, you can find it mostly on the beaches, but you can also find them in the jungle, central plains, and rarely on the Highlands. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it. Comment down below your thoughts. Everyone have a happy Boxing Day for my watchers in the UK, and I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas yesterday and Christmas Eve for my Hispanic viewers, not voters. Alright, everyone have a blessed day, and of course, as always, toodaloo!